G'day viewers, we're in a Fowler 060 tender locomotive on Peak Forest. We are coupled up to the back of a train that we're going to bank. It's not prototypically correct to couple to the train you're going to bank. Normally you just run up to it and bonk on the back and push, but you have to couple up in Train Sim World because of needs of the game. I've put a red lamp on the back to indicate that we are the last vehicle. Alright, I am in full forward gear, so I'm at 75. My cylinder cocks should be open, but let's just make sure. There we go. They are open. Well, they are now anyway. And I'm going to apply a little bit of pressure just to get a head start on things. Let the steam chest build up. I'm going to give 2 long whistles. That lets the crew at the front know that we're ready to power. I'm going to build up my steam pressure a little more. We can see the steam blasting out through the cocks. And I am releasing the brakes now, and I'm starting to apply sand. So I'm using my sander. See, the brakes have come off. I'm going to give it a little bit more on the regulator now until we start to push. Now, the guy up the front's not really good at this, and he often slips. So let's just see how we go. I'm going to keep my cocks open because it'll help me not slip. He will mimic that and keep his cocks open up at the front, and it'll also help him not slip. We're up to 19% now, so we just leave it there for the moment. Let's let the train settle into its little work. I'm almost getting to the point where I'd be willing to close the cylinder cocks. Do that when we get up to about 2.5. Got a bit of momentum going then. Now you might slip as soon as you close the cocks, so let's close them and let's see. You may have to do some quick throttle work. You notice we are picking up speed now, we're doing okay. We are using the maximum possible torque. We are also using an enormous amount of steam, but we've got plenty of it, so that's fine. Now, don't be too eager to put the throttle up. Let things just get moving and settle into the groove. Running a steam engine is all about settling into the groove. Let it do its job. Let the steam perform its magic. Everything happens a little bit slowly than you might expect it to do. Getting up to 4 miles an hour now, but we're also getting into a fairly difficult spot because the lead locomotive is about to go through a set of points and it might lose its speed up there. I'm still sanding. I'm still holding down the sand button at this point because I want the grip. Now it's dry, so it might be a bit more insurance than you actually need, but it's good to have it because this guy might go up the front there when he goes over those points. And so might we when we get there. So he's coming out onto the main line now. He's fairly happy. This is a very heavy train. I'm going to go off the sand button now and we'll just see how we go. You notice how much speed we lost when he went through the points? So he may have slipped a little bit, or it may just be because we're pushing through a curve now. We're not pushing in a straight line anymore. The train simulation on this is actually quite good, so those kinds of things matter. Should be able to just nudge up our power just a little bit, just a tiny bit at a time. I'm still not bringing the reverser back yet because I need to use a lot of power. This is a very heavy train we're getting moving. We are accelerating. We're getting underway. Now we have a risky time coming up, so you need to be ready on the throttle because we might slip when we hit those points. Fireman at this point would be firing against the gun or firing against the injector because we'd be using a lot of steam. And we're not using the expanding principles of the steam because we're at full forward gear. Once we get through the points, I will pull back the gearing a little bit. But I want to get on the straight track first. Alright, I'm going to pull the reverser back a little now. Let's just get into the 60s and see how it settles. Yeah, about there. Let's just see how that goes. Alright, she's still got her feet. Still accelerating. I'm going to give her a little bit more power now. Just a little bit, not much. We're accelerating quite happy. And just let that settle for a moment. Now we'll bring the reverser back into the 50s. We'll just let that settle again. It's all about small changes. Don't be in a hurry. Railways is all about hurry up and wait. It's just one engineman to another. Bring the reverser back a little bit more now. We want to stay in the 50s though, so I don't want to go too far. 48 will be fine. It's near enough. I'm using a rail driver, which isn't the most accurate thing in the world for changing these. Let's just jump back into the cab. Now, while I can't see the wheels, I'm not going to change anything. I'm just going to let it go. And firing, buddy, you shouldn't be firing in a tunnel. You know what I forgot to turn on? I forgot to turn on our lamp. There we go. Pop our lamp on so we can see. Don't fire in the tunnel, mate. Don't do it. Don't do it. You'll kill us. Don't do it. Don't do it. Oh, no, he's going to do it. Oh, dear. Ah, fireman. What can you do? I'm a fireman in real life. I don't have any tunnels on my railway. Makes life much easier. Alright, now that I can see the wheels again, I will be happy to bring our power up a little bit. Little bit at a time. Alright, seems to have coped fine with that, so let's get round here so we can watch our two guys working. Well, watch Mr. Hardly working and Mr. Always shoveling, because he don't stop. We can give it a bit more power now. Your action's actually being mimicked up the front in the 8F, and if you're driving a service when you're driving the 8F, then your actions up there will be getting mimicked back here. One thing I have noticed when you're banking is that in this scenario, the other loco always releases the brakes, but in the services, you're more likely than not, you'll have to go up there and release them yourself using the outside camera. All right, a bit more power now. Don't be at all concerned about travelling at a slow speed. You're here to do a job. You're not here to be in a race. Bring it up a little bit more now. So you could still lose this at this point by increasing your throttle too quickly. So a little bit at a time. And there we go. That's pretty much it. We'll just travel at this speed now for the rest of the trip up the hill. You can give it more power if you want to, but you're in diminishing returns at this point. There's no point coming closer to mid-gear because you will lose power and you will not be able to provide the force needed to keep this train moving. When you do get up to the top of the hill at peak forest, all you have to do is uncouple and the service or the scenario will tell you what to do next, which is usually drifting back down the hill. Alrighty, we'll catch you later on, and if you've got any questions about this and how I did it and why I did it, chuck them in the comments down below and I will help you out. Alright, been fun. See you later.